This video from the 1981 Indianapolis 500 captures a terrifying moment in racing history. Watch closely.
We got a fire there. You can't see it, but it's an outlaw fire. Look at people fleeing in every direction. It's Rick Mears trying to get out of his car. He just came into the pits. This could be very bad. You can't see it, but it's there. See him waving his hand. There's Mears. He's got the flame-proof driving suit on. There's a mechanic really on fire. Rick Mears is on fire himself. He's on fire. He's probably, and he's still not getting that man. The mechanic's still on fire. You cannot see the flame. It's an alcohol fire. Look at those tanks right there contain fuel, too. This is a very dangerous situation. They seem to be getting it under control now.
Racing driver Rick Mears makes a pit stop, but instantly, something goes wrong. The fuel hose malfunctions, spraying methanol everywhere, on Mears, his car, and the pit crew. Methanol burns with no visible flame. By the time they realize the danger, it's too late. Mears is already screaming for help, engulfed in an invisible fire. Only then do the fire crews arrive, just in time to beat back the ghostly flames. According to reports, 5 suffered burns, yet somehow all survived. After this terrifying moment, racing officials introduce safety valves to prevent fuel from spraying before the hose is locked in place. This shocking footage, captured on a street camera in China in March 2025, shows an intersection, moments before it becomes a scene of horror for the motorcyclist. The white sedan, attempting a right turn into a parking lot, fails to yield as the rider approaches at high speed. The motorcyclist slams into the vehicle's side and is suddenly dragged beneath the chassis. Instead of stopping, the driver accelerates in panic, still dragging the victim under. In perhaps the most harrowing second of footage, the car's wheel runs over the rider's head. No helmet, just a hoodie. Even on video, the impact looks painful. Against all odds, the rider pulls himself free from the chassis, somehow conscious and alert. He sits upright, and with the help of bystanders, he walks to his bike. Mere seconds of road awareness can mean life or death, and it's amazing how this man survived with no helmet. Most wouldn't be so lucky. It really makes you think twice about ever riding without proper gear. On March 11, 2011, a terrifying disaster struck the city of Sendai in Japan. The following footage, captured at Sendai Airport, reveals the harrowing moments when the earthquake first hit, shaking everything in its path. This event would go down in history as the most powerful earthquake ever recorded in Japan. With a staggering magnitude of 9.1, the earthquake sent shockwaves through the ground, shaking it relentlessly for what felt like a lifetime. As the ground trembles, the airport restaurant becomes a scene of chaos. Tables and chairs crash to the floor as terrified people drop to the ground in a desperate attempt to shield themselves. In one chilling moment, the camera operator, trying to capture the destruction outside, is suddenly and violently knocked to the ground. This devastating earthquake triggered a massive tsunami, resulting in tragic loss of life and widespread destruction. Yet, in a near miraculous turn, most of the airport crowd survived. This dramatic footage from September 1997 shows when a second, more powerful earthquake struck the historic St. Francis of Assisi Basilica in Italy. What you're about to witness happened without warning. In an instant, a section of the vaulted ceiling crumbles, sending massive debris crashing down. You can feel the panic as those inside rush for their lives before the debris falls on them. But to some, escape was impossible, as choking dust fills the sacred space in seconds. Tragically, those caught in the collapse had only just arrived to inspect the basilica after the first earthquake. Of the 10 people buried when the second quake hit, rescuers were able to save 6. For the other 4, the historic church became their final resting place. In this chilling footage from June 2014, 30-year-old Jose Vergara Acevedo steps into an elevator in his apartment building in Chile. Then, instantly, something goes terribly wrong. Watch this. As he presses the button for his floor, the doors fail to close. Instead, the elevator suddenly surges upward, completely out of control. Within seconds, it's rocketing toward the top at a terrifying speed of 80 kilometers per hour. He frantically presses every button, but nothing responds. Just then, the elevator slams into the building's roof with brutal force. The crash shakes the entire structure, and for a moment, everything goes still. Somehow, Jose survives, but with serious injuries to his head and legs. What's even more disturbing, residents had already reported issues with the elevator, but their warnings were ignored. In this heart-stopping footage, an experienced skier carves his way down the steep slopes of the French Alps. Everything seems normal, but then disaster strikes. Without warning, the ground beneath him vanishes. 1 second he's gliding smoothly. Next, he is plunging straight into a massive crevasse. Instinct kicks in as he desperately jams his skis against the icy walls, trying to slow his fall. Somehow, it works. Below him is nothing but an abyss. One wrong move and there's no way out. Fortunately, he was rescued and was pulled out of the crevasse with ropes. Few survive such deadly encounters with nature's hidden traps. This skier's quick thinking and the rescue team made all the difference. This shocking footage, captured in September 2020, shows 2 explorers scaling an iceberg in the Arctic waters near the North Pole. Everything seems under control, unaware of the catastrophe about to unfold. Watch this. The 2 men carefully scale the side of a massive iceberg. However, as their support boat drifts away from the structure, the iceberg slowly begins to tilt. The climbers desperately scramble to reach safety, but it's already too late. The entire structure flips, sending them plummeting into the freezing waters below. The weight of the collapsing iceberg threatens to crush them. Fortunately, against all odds, they re-emerge and make it safely to their boat. Had their boat not been within immediate reach, this footage would have documented an unimaginable tragedy rather than a harrowing close call.